Hi and welcome back to Par Breakers Golf Academy. I'm Bernard Sheridan, and we would like to congratulate Brendon Todd on his first tour win on the PGA Tour. He just won the HP Byron Classic, and Brendon has a very nice swing, and we're going to take a look at it today. We're going to see some of the things that you can do in your swing that Brendon does, and how it can help you become a solid ball striker and get a little bit more out of the ball, and also how to stay on your anchor through your swing. Okay, and Brendon does that very well, and we're going to notice that when Brendon goes back, there's very little lower body movement. That lower body is very stable and quiet, okay? That's a key to being able to stay on your anchor. And what I mean by your anchor is your pivot position and where you pivot. Now, if you were to go back to the video that we put up a few weeks ago on JB Holmes, we discussed the 3 posts in the golf swing and how you can rotate around one of those 3 posts on your backswing, but that everyone rotates around the front post on their downswing, okay? And that's really where we want to see everyone be on the downswing, is around that front post. So if we were to draw the post here that Brendon is really going around on this backswing, we'll see that his head is well behind the ball here, and that he's pivoting right around where his right hip meets his right pelvic bone, okay? And that's that rear post. So Brendon is a rear post golfer, okay? And as he starts down, he's going to his head is going to start to move ever so slightly as his arms fall, okay? So, and as his arms fall, he still has a very nice connection with that rear arm, and that front arm, that left arm, is really staying connected to his body also on that downswing. Arms are just kind of falling straight down, and right where he begins to start to release the club is where the club becomes parallel to the ground, and he starts to ever so slightly unhinge those hands coming into impact, okay? So right here, he gets over top. He's fully over top of now that front post. So on which post is that? Okay, well, let's pull that line up. And that front post is right on that left heel, and that's right where, if we look here, that's right where that front belt loop is, okay? Now, if you were to go and look at the pre-shot routine, we can see that, and in the pre-shot routine that I give all my students, I have them, when they address the ball, to get the club on the leading edge behind the ball, aiming at the near field target, square to the near field target, and have the shaft ever so slightly leaning ahead to that front belt loop, okay? So then that way, when everything squares up and they pivot around that front post, which is right where that front belt loop is, then what will happen is the bottom of that swing arc will happen after. So as he goes back, he's right on that rear post. Very little lower body motion. Head's very steady, because once he gets to that post, he keeps his head on that post. And now he starts down, and notice how his head starts to move ahead of that post, because he's now posting around that front leg. Impact happens, hands are ahead, and also right on that post. The front of his left hand is flat and facing the target, and now everything catches up right around that post. The divot happens. His arms fully extend about 45 degrees out towards the target side, and then he just pivots right on around that final front post. And the great thing about this too is I want you to notice he has a full weight shift, and his base of his skull is really right over that front post. So, and that's a really good position for you to be in at the finish, and not sliding into that spot, but actually rotating into that spot like Brendon does. So if we take another quick look at this, and now I'm not saying that when you take your backswing that you should rotate around your right post, okay? We don't know which one you rotate around. You can find that out, okay? And there's a little test that you can do, and what I'm going to do shortly is, within the next few weeks, I'm going to post a video of that particular test, so that you know which post you are, so that now you understand where you should be rotating. So you can be one of three posts. You can be front post, center post, or rear post, and Brendon is a rear poster. Okay, so he posts around that right leg. His head is very steady, lower body's very steady, upper body turns against it, gets to the top, starts his rotation down over the left leg. Head is still solid on the ball. Sternum is actually moved ahead by this point so that the club can bottom out in front of the ball. Releases the club, and then lets the momentum pull his body right around that front post, and finishes with it in a nice balanced finish with his skull right over top of that front post. So these are some things that you can try to achieve in your swing, and you'll find that you'll have much more success in getting the bottom of the swing arc to happen in front of the ball at the correct spot, and you'll be able to compress the ball a lot more, and you'll also see if you can get your shoulder to that front target much more easily because you're rotating around that front leg. So for Par Breakers Golf Academy, thanks as always for being with us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Par Breakers Golf Academy, and on Twitter at Par Breakers, and also to watch or to listen to our weekly podcast on iTunes. You can go up to iTunes, and underneath sports and golf instruction, you'll see our Breaking Par podcast, and that's out every week with a nice, great half-hour instructional show that'll help you with your game, and it's free. And while you're up there, if you could leave a review, we would be very grateful. So as always, thanks so much for watching videos at Par Breakers. And until next time, try to keep it in the short grass.